guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over an email I was sent from a subscriber. It's from a guy, sounds like he's about close to turning 50 years old. He's from over in the UK, and he shares his story of the series of events, marriages, relationships that led him to the point in his life that he's now 49 and on his own. No more marriages, at least no relationships anymore, and he's loving his life. He is the guy that's gone his own way, if you will, has a job that he loves, hobbies, interests, and he's on cloud nine. And I'll be going to go over just showing again why so many guys are going down this path. And you're going to see he's made lots of mistakes with being married twice, the types of women he's chosen, and you're going to see his mum, because he's in the UK, his mum is a-hole effeminist who did a lot of evil things to his dad to ruin the marriage and all that, and already got him in that blue pill frame, being raised by an effeminist. And unfortunately, at 50 years old, this guy is now making a change. It goes to show you that it's never too late to make a positive change. So I'll be going to go over here for a lot of you guys out there that have definitely ever come to the point that you're like, you know what, I'm happier on my own, period. I don't need to do relationships, certainly not marriages, and you know what, there's nothing wrong with that. So I think you guys will appreciate this one. He says, hi SSM. First of all, I think it's great what you do, reading these real stories that turn into teaching men of all ages how to spot the red flags and not put up with the crap. You make me laugh being so blunt, as I do share the same outlook. I was a massive fan of the TV show Married with Children in the 90s growing up, so for this you can call me Al. Peggy and Darcy will come later into the story. Married with Children, that was one great show, and Al Bundy is our spiritual guide over here. I've been watching / listening to your channel for what seems like years, but more like 8 months or so. Probably because I binge listen to you while I'm in my man cave working on my project. I laugh and shout out at the entitlement and gaslighting displayed by the women. Well, no shortage of that. And as I know we're going to go into your story, you are on the receiving end of all that BS. In a nutshell, I'm definitely a Sigma male and had some nice guy simp tendencies, I think due to my upbringing. I've been married twice and have to admit that I did put the hot ones on the pedestal. Yes, I know, smack. Yeah, smack. Smack for being married twice. You can make that mistake once, but a second time? Don't do that again, my friend. You're banned from marriage. And frankly, probably serious relationships at this point. He says that when they are fit and gorgeous, it's difficult to hold back and not say it because when you're extremely attracted to them, it slips out. Yeah, it's amazing what a hot woman can do to most guys. And you know what? I used to do the same crap. I used to completely change my behavior around the smoking hot ones. I couldn't help myself. You know, as so many guys were, but over years of experience, learned to zip it and behave like I do, whether she's 500 pounds or a smoking hottie. Because I just don't give a shit anymore. I don't know what it takes. I don't know what it is that makes a career-driven, strong-willed man go against his own rules and logic just because of compatible great SCX. So for now, I feel like I'm done with searching for a good woman. I can't be bothered with the constant attention and tendering to their needs. I'm too much in my project, building and designing a race car. Bro, after being married twice, and after we get into the story about your mother, I don't blame you for not wanting to get into relationships or be searching for the good woman. You can be perfectly happy on your own. There are plenty of guys waking up and realize just how happy and peaceful their lives are on their own. And you want to get some on occasion, fair enough. You handle that in the way you want to handle it, but and just take it one day at a time and live your life and enjoy it. You don't need to be in a relationship, let alone married, to find happiness. In fact, the exact people that usually are married are miserable. So I would like to describe myself as an average-looking man, look young for my age. I'm 5'10", keep fit by going to the gym 3 times per week. Great job, credit to me, teaching myself CAD during the lockdown. From mechanic to design engineer. Good job, man. You're constantly improving yourself. That's what I want to hear. So I managed to escape all the relationships I had by not getting the women pregnant. Maybe I'm shooting blanks or the morning after pill always worked. I've always wanted a family, but couldn't risk it with someone I only knew for a few years. I've had many friends that got baby trapped, divorced, rarely see their kids, and have a shitty life because the men are paying for everything while the woman gets the house, the car, the kids, child support, and father's income while the father lives in a flat eating his dinner out of baked bean tins. Well, that's on the extreme level, but yeah, pretty much the guy gets screwed over, whether it's on this side of the pond or your side of the pond. And gee, why more and more guys aren't interested in marriage. Imagine that. So I'm from the UK, and slowly I see more entitled women are getting due to social media. I work with a few feminists and do sometimes let my views on modern day feminism slip. Oops. I don't say oops. Speak your mind. Just watch what you say in the workplace, of course, because they can then try to say it's harassment or something like that and get you fired. That's the only thing. Other than that, speak your mind. Who cares? Don't hold back. Just don't be nasty about it that people then can say you were doing this, this, and this. But I wouldn't be doing that in the workplace, man. The workplace is where you earn your income and all that. Don't jeopardize it by... It's very easy to get a bunch of effinists riled up. And believe me, they'll do anything to get rid of you, get you fired. So watch what you say in the workplace. Other than that, speak your mind. I now know that I have truly been R-pilled. I'm putting my views into practice. Practice on who I would normally not say what's on my mind and what I've learned. So a bit of a story about my childhood and why I went down the nice guy route, said Root. My mum is an extreme feminist and doesn't like it when I tell her. Oh, how wonderful. Raised by an feminist. No wonder you were down the nice guy route when you were younger. It makes sense to how I turned out, raised by my mum, as my dad got the worst deal ever. My dad was 12 years older than my mum and had a great job as an architect. Had a house and a car, which was a big deal in the late 60s in England at the time. My dad was 33 years old on holiday when they met. In my mum's words, my dad was a catch. Your feminist mother's admitting this now? Because I know what your feminist mother does to your dad. So my parents are Brits, had 2 children, moved to Canada, had 2 more children, and my controlling mother booted my dad out because he did hit her. Oh, do tell. That was bad, and I don't condone it. But anyone would have to ask the question, what brings a man to strike the mother of his 4 children? He says provoked. You know, lots of gals have deliberately said and done things to get a guy riled up. He loses his cool, does what he does, and she knows exactly what she's doing, and then makes out like a bandit. Gotta be careful, guys. I did make contact with my dad when I was 21 years old. It was amazing, but that's another story. I did ask my dad about the breakdown of the marriage. What drove you to hit her? He did still look broken, and his soul sank. What he told me made me hate my mum, but I only had one mum, and she never treated me like that. What my mum did was pure evil, and so calculating, the 3 things that stood out for me are, number 1, my dad was on a ladder alone. He was up and down it. He's not stupid by a long shot. He knows how to make the ladder safe. So, Mum rigged the ladder so Dad would fall off. Oh my God. 2. In the heat of the argument, my dad turned and walked away as it went on and not going anywhere. He then had hot tea thrown on his back and he lashed out as anyone would. So she sabotaged the ladder. He fell, hurt himself. They got into a fight. He realized it wasn't going anywhere, so he walked away, as I tell all guys to do, and she threw hot tea at him, burning him, and in that moment lost it and probably smack, which, guess what, she had coming. And you couldn't blame him. Unfortunately, the police and the courts don't see it that way. 3, the final straw to keep my dad away after the divorce was, again, an evil plan. My dad was informed by the solicitors that he received a restraining order because of so-called doing bad things to children. I gotta watch what I say here. And this guy says, WTF. My sister was 2 years old at the time. My dad said he was utterly devastated. So on top of all the other stuff your mum did, she freaking accused him of doing bad things to a 2-year-old sister, which obviously was a bunch of bullshit with bollocks. I gotta speak English here. Speak British here. She's pure evil. So here's a question. Why in God's name are you talking to your mum anymore after all this shit? Yeah, she treated you great, as you said, but still, it's fucking evil. Your poor dad here. You see again why men are walking away? Growing up after everything that was thrown at him, immigrating, having a family of 4 children, and he was denied to see. 2 heart attacks. I don't see how he was able to go on. Perhaps knowing that we would turn to adults and would make contact. He said that years later he tried to put his head into a narcissistic sociopath's mind and thinks how this plan could evolve. Well, your dad is obviously unbelievably strong and stoic, and he's not going to let everything she threw at him destroy him, but clearly it really did its damage. It's terrible. When a parent changed, now he's describing the situation with the sister. He says, when a parent changes a nappy, I guess that means a diaper, there's cleaning and powdering involved. He said the only twisted thing he could think of is that she watched him change the nappy on my 18-month-old sister and use the image in her head and twist it into a disgusting way. I cannot believe that this sick way of setups happened all those years ago. All because of the empowerment and what financial benefits women will receive and the support they had in the 1980s. I do hate how young women of today copy their own mothers. Hey, don't work hard and pay your own life. Pop a few kids instead and let the taxpayer pay for it. So for the relationships I had, my first marriage, the good woman I met at 23, married at 26. You married after 3 years of knowing her? Smack! Did you not learn something from your mom and dad's, your mom and your dad's experience? Or more like your dad's experience? So now we're going to all his relation. He is a freaking psycho wacko mum, and I'm going to call her on it. First female asshole in his life. Now he's on to the next asshole's first wife. We drifted apart. Oh, after that quickly? We drifted apart. I badly wanted SCX in the family. I wasn't getting any SCX, so I'm happy to say I ended it by not cheating. Not fair on her. I think I really wanted children because I grew up without a dad. Okay. Your first marriage came and went real quick. At least it was quick. At least there were no kids out of it that you're stuck with her. Second marriage. The smack is going to hurt. So, first marriage didn't work out, and you saw her true colors. You now learned about your mom, and now you're on to a second marriage that quickly. Smack! How much suffering do you got to go through to see reality? Don't worry, guys. His journey here will lead him to where he is today. After my sexless marriage ended, I went on a man whore spree. I was 34 at the time when I met a 36-year-old SLUT, we'll call her Peggy, and we were both hooking up all the time. Okay, so you were 34 when you met her, so you had a number of years that you were man whoring, as you said. Okay, fine. In the 6 months of hooking up, I only managed to have 8 women, and Peggy had over 30. I'm nearly 50 years old now and proud to say that my body count is low, just 21. I knew she had 4 children by 3 different dads. Loads of smacks. I told myself, don't get involved. You married a single MOM who had 4 kids, 3 of which were and 3 different dads. Smack! Are you out of your mind? Now, I know you didn't have this material back then, but for God's sake, do you enjoy drama? Because you're definitely going to get drama with this one. It's extremely rare to have that kind of S-word chemistry where, how should I put this, she would pop at least 3 times, and on her 4th, we would pop at the very same time every time. Okay, that's great. Fine. But still, the SCX is a small portion of your time with her. The rest of it is dealing with her 4 kids, the baby daddies, all that. This kid did seriously F with my mind. All the alarm bells were ringing. Stay the F away. Going against all my beliefs and morals, all because of the way we were in bed, F like porn stars. So my dumbass married her 3 years after meeting her. Smack! Let's see how that works out. What was I thinking about taking on 4 girls and a toxic F-ness starting to awaken? She was fine at first. They all are fine at first until they show their true colors. When I met her, I earned twice as much as she did. Always had separate accounts. I bought the wedding. I also bought the house with my money I put in. I told her to keep the money to put in the house, and I bought to keep her children, in which she did. Well, we both put X amount in, so it's not like she was up on paying. So you're making way more than her. You're paying for everything. I'm tired of smacking you. So in the end, after 8 years, remember I said I do speak my mind. It happened at dinner in a restaurant. She was always very soft and lenient with her daughters and never allowed me to discipline her daughters. If you're marrying her and she has 4 freaking kids, 4 daughters, that come from 3 different baby daddies, you're now the next one. You bet your ass you're going to be able to discipline them and speak your mind, all that. Peggy told me that very early on, and at the time I thought, great, I don't want the responsibility. The conversation was about the daughter's behavior and how bad one of them was. The 15-year-old daughter was kicked out of school for repeatedly swearing at the teacher, all 2 weeks before her 16th birthday. This happened about 3 months prior to this dinner date. More sirens. I refused to reward the daughter with a birthday present for her bad behavior, and she received nothing from me. Well, she got kicked out of school for 2 weeks. She shouldn't get any birthday presents or anything. The daughter hated me for a while, and Peggy was upset, although I dug into my heels and would not budge. Well, I'm glad you did that. Funny enough, years later, the daughter admitted to me that her hate turned into respect. Oh, imagine that. You lay down the law with a woman, and guess what? She started respecting you. So the conversation we had that ended our marriage, Peggy said a few things that were getting me fired up, so my response was, but Peggy, if you continue to allow them to walk all over you, they will end up being weed-smoking losers, very harsh and blunt. Peggy then put both her hands on the table and took a breath and calmly said, wait, are you saying that my girls are weed-smoking losers? So, of course, she takes what you said and totally twists it around. You said if they continue on this path, they're going to end up this way, but she takes it as you're saying that they're this. In those moments of 3 seconds to my response, I thought she changed my words from will end up to are. So I thought, fuck it. I responded with a simple yes. She just said, I think you and me are done. Well, she's giving you, this is a blessing. Just don't love me anymore. I just said, really, a divorce for that? I didn't fight it as I didn't respect her or really love her. She just ended it before I wanted to. I think she met someone in her high-paying job, which she started to earn more than me. That really changed her. She thought she was bigger than she was, a little too big for her boots, I think. Are you saying that you started the relationship where you're earning more than her, so of course she wanted to marry you, and then eventually she got a different high-paying job that she was making more than you, and now is looking down upon you and thinking that you're holding her back? Gee, that's never happened. You're no longer useful to her. That's what happens in a lot of these stories. These guys, their wives start making a lot more money, and they start looking down on the husbands. It's ridiculous. But that's why this whole thing, oh, the wife can make more money and the guy can stay at home and take care of the kids, or it's okay, she makes more money, she'll still love you the same. That has been proven many times to be total bullshit. Once she started earning more, I noticed all the changes that you hear about. The damage was already done in terms of establishing boundaries, girls' nights out, and away. I didn't know any better than to really understand, or let alone to possibly think that she was cheating. Yeah. I mentioned how intimate the SCX was because the part supports what I thought. The change in her S-word behavior towards me changed in the last 6 months of the 8-year relationship. Stopped initiating it and didn't climax much. Not even at the same time that had always happened quite a few times before. So imagine that. Remember, this is you married her because of your sexual chemistry? Like, that's pretty fucking stupid. Why wasn't she just some chick you banged? Why'd you want to marry her? I had my suspicions only after I was moving stuff out of the garage. I saw something. That's another story. I didn't walk away with what I should have, and her solicitor used her children against me. Wow. Divorce is so unfair for the man, even a fatherless man. Really? You're preaching to the choir here. We all know that. This is why I do what I do, to teach guys reality, and then they can then, through all these stories, learn something, and then make the decisions on their own, whether they want to embark on that odyssey called marriage. The house value went up by £100,000, so I got a nice wedge to walk away with. I was happy to be rid of Peggy as she kept digging for more money. Greedy bitch. I picture him saying that in his British accent. I mentioned Darcy earlier. This email is getting pretty long, so in short, she was a blonde bimbo that I met through dancing classes. I wasn't looking for a relationship, as I was still healing after about 2.5 years after my second divorce. Salsa dancing with women was nice, filling my time, learning something new. All it was for me. Well, it's interesting you choose the word Darcy, because I think Mary Chill and Darcy was disgusting, but okay. I ended up with her for nearly 3 years. She was fit for her age, 49 years old at the time. You got an older chick? I mean, I get at this point you're probably in your late 40s and everything, but I figured you got a younger chick here. I'm glad she looked good for her age, but still. She was a big drinker and had many blackouts. Oh, what a catch. Once she broke up with me just because I was looking at a young, fit woman at the party. So pathetic. Yes, I look too often, but hey, it was the first party after the lockdown. 2 years later, so when I was on a Zoom call with work to a woman engineer in the US, a time zone difference of 5 hours, my desk was in the living room on the couch next to it. I was in a heavy strategy meeting about technical stuff, and in my peripheral vision, I could see something waving. I was getting distracted and had a look. It was my girlfriend, Darcy, sitting on the couch, waving her empty glass at me. What the fuck? So she's on the couch, and you're in a business meeting on Zoom, and she's there waving her empty glass like she expects you to be the goddamn butler and get up and serve her. Why doesn't she get her salsa dancing ass off the couch and serve herself? But you see, this is her perception of you, that you're her weak butler and doormat. And you know what? It was probably accurate. There could be some things here that you were saying to make yourself look cooler than you were. I mean, there's a reason she was treating you that way. So probably you were being too nice and accommodating and all that. Let's not bullshit each other here. All this, you keep going from one pain in the ass wacko chick to the other. Thank God I didn't marry this one. I ignored her, and the grief I was getting from a 52-year-old woman was like a child. 3 minutes went by, and I had to excuse myself from the meeting. I calmly put my mic on mute, camera off, and looked at Darcy and said, "What the fuck? Something wrong with your legs? I'm on a work call, for fuck's sake." There you go. That's a good line. Anytime a woman wants you to do something that she could perfectly do herself and she's being lazy or expecting to be your butler, just say, "Something wrong with your legs?" Something like that. I then put the camera back on and unmuted the mic and apologized for the distraction. I could feel the laser eyes I was getting. Yeah, she was probably having like red lasers coming out of her eyes like Superman or like General Zod. She was General Zodding you with the red fucking lasers coming out of her eyes, wanting to burn you. Truthfully, I did enjoy the argument afterwards that because she didn't have a leg to stand on. I wasn't a bastard to Darcy, just put her in her place. Good. That's what you should do with all women. Otherwise, I won't respect you. Remember you said your stepdaughter was being a little a-hole and you wouldn't give her a birthday present? And then you said she was mad at you, but she respected you. See? From that moment on, I could start to see a change in my behavior of not simping. Well, it's about fucking time. You're like 50 years old at this point, or close to 50. Not knowing about the blue pill syndrome. Years before, I probably would have talked up her glass, still resenting the fact that I would, but didn't have the balls not to. Darcy and I split up about 18 months ago, and I'm loving life. Hallelujah. So no new women since that time period. Good. Clearly, you're not very good with them, and you need a lot of work, my friend. But hopefully after watching my channel, you learned some things. I'm going away on holiday now to a southern European country for some hot weather for my 50th birthday. First time traveling alone, and I'm going to love it. I do what I want, when I want, and maybe who I want. Don't worry, SSM, I always use protection. You better use fucking protection, my friend. And you need to watch yourself the next time you see some girl that you click with and think you want to get into a relationship with. Because you're not exactly, your judgment has not proven to be very good when it comes to relationships. I'm not that fussed about hooking up. I've been lucky in my time. Shagged some 7s or 8s, fit, much younger stunners. They were 25 and I was 45, just stating it for legal reasons. So like anything that you've had a lot of, it loses excitement even when it's new. So I can say I've been saying that. I've been ARB-pilled. I just need to practice it. Well, you have maybe recently become ARB-pilled, at least in the way you're seeing things, but you need to now put that into practice. Because your experiences with your mum and your 2 wives and this chick you called Darcy and all that crap, that was not ARB-pilled. That was, we all know that you were being the blue-pilled nice guy. But at least you got rid of Darcy, so good for you. And you have your moments when you're pushed too far. But the real test will be now after you've had all this knowledge you've gained and you're on your own. I have no idea this will go further than me just writing it, just venting about all these years and getting it down in black and white. I think it helps. I admit where I went wrong, and no pussy is worth that crap. Right there. Good. That shows you're healing. You're admitting where you went wrong. And yes, no pussy is worth all this crap. I am a relationship guy, shocker, but my opinions and attitude towards relationships have changed so much. Let's keep it that way. So for now, I'm relaxing in the sun, having a drink, and do think about the next week of design change on my race car. I can't help it, I have an engineer's mind. My job is very challenging, and I love it. I work very hard, and my efforts from the designs have proven to work. I do like being accountable, working on my grind, as you say. So this long email is the longest I've ever written, and definitely worth writing, even if it doesn't get put online. Thanks for everything you do, SSM. People like me feel like they actually know you. Well, bro, I really appreciate your writing, and even though I was giving you a hard time and smacking the shit out of you 19,000 times, and you deserved it, I hope now you're at a place after all these bad experiences, with first starting off with your mum and the way she treated your poor dad. I don't know how you have anything to do with your mum at this point. I know she's still alive, but you know, I hope you have a good relationship with your father. So your mum put you on that path, and then how you rushed into the marriage of the first wife, and then years later, after shagging a lot of British hotties, then you're on. Well, are there many British hotties out there? The old joke is that British women look like horses. I've been over to England. I've seen a few hotties, but I've seen plenty that. Ugh. Anyhow. Someone's going to give me shit now, saying, what, in America they don't have women that look like horses? No, in America we have women that look like cows because half the population is obese or overweight. Anyhow, and then marriage number 2, and then Darcy. But I hope at this point you've learned, and you notice how happy he is on his own now. Focusing on his job that he likes a lot, and his race car, and his man cave, and doing what he wants. Keep doing that, okay? And the next time you think about maybe you're hooking up with some girl and you're having a good time, because obviously it's going to happen sooner or later, and you want to get in a relationship thinking she's different, remember your past experiences. Remember this video. Remember me think if you're about to embark in a relationship with some girl you think's worth it, picture me smacking the shit out of you if believe me, she has characteristics and qualities like all your previous women that things didn't work out in. But anyhow, I'm glad you're doing well. And guys, you can see how happy he is now that he's on his own doing his own thing. As I'm sure many of you are definitely experiencing right now. Alright guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.